And amid clearance of backlog, of course, will be our talking point, the first talking point of the program. Amid clearance of backlogs of FX forwards, the Central Bank of Nigeria has vowed to go after currency holders and speculators whose activities are allegedly contributing to the depreciation of the naira against major foreign currencies. The Apex Bank is fighting what it sees as a sabotage against the effort of the government to stabilize the naira. This is not the first time the CBN will be embarking on such move. But the question is, what's likely to change going forward? That's our major question today on the program. To discuss this, I've been joined by Mr. Ajay, Head of Income at Chapel Hiddenham. He joins us virtually now. Thank you, Mr. Ajay. We appreciate you for joining us. Hello, Mr. Ajay. I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. Thank you once again for joining us on the program. Let's get talking now. There's a breath of fresh air in the FX market as Naira gained recently following CBN's settlement of FX backlogs. How crucial was this move, and how do you think this is impacting on the market?
Well, thank you very much. Firstly, I will start from the decision of the Apex Bank to actually remove the 43 line item from the parallel market, which is more of the autonomous market. And they were actually allowed to also compete with others in the willing buyer and willing sellers window. And that move, what it does to the market is that it reduces the pressure that was currently on the parallel market. And just after that, the Apex Bank also came to the markets. Just 2 weeks ago, they conducted OMO auction twice, back-to-back in a week. And we saw the central bank actually moving the OMO rate to as high as effective return of about 22.8%. And what that does to the market is that it created another window of opportunity to investors. And the top thing that the central bank did was now clear some of the backlogs, forward backlogs, as at that time also putting pressure on the parallel market, because most of those manufacturers and all those people involved, they have obligation to settle. And some of them would have to resort to parallel market to actually meet some of those obligations, so as to maintain their lines with some of their foreign suppliers. And the decision of the central bank to actually do those three things actually reduced the pressure that we saw on the parallel market. Let us just imagine that the central bank did not wait into the situation at that particular point in time. We saw the momentum at that time that Naira was aggressively promoting. We got to a level that Naira was around about 1,300 to $1. And if the momentum has continued at that particular point in time, I'm sure we would have been past 1,500 Naira to $1 by now. But the central bank waded into the situation very quickly, and they also promised that they will continue to actually clear some of those backlogs. And we saw the second phase of it sometime last week when the central bank also cleared some of the backlog for the 5 big banks, and I mean the tier 1 banks and some other banks. And I think if central bank continue in this momentum, we'll tend to see a situation whereby Naira would actually regain its status.
So the question will now be, after paying off these backlogs, what next? Because if the effect of the backlog it's been significant enough, has been recorded recently, and so what next after the backlogs? That's what a lot of analysts are asking at the moment.
So, one thing about markets is sentiment, and basically that's what happens to the market most times. And if you remember vividly just about the time that we actually harmonized our exchange windows, of course, we saw a situation whereby the parallel market and the official market was trading almost close to the same level. But just when JP Morgan released the report and actually showed forth that we have a lot of obligations against our reserve, and even they went to the extent of saying the net value on a reserve stands at $3.5 billion. And the sentiment in the market automatically changed. So it simply means that people that have future obligations immediately felt that they don't think the central bank will have the capacity to meet the obligation. So it simply means that they need to buy now. So nobody wants to actually take that risk of waiting to the future when things would have gotten worse. So we saw a situation whereby a lot of people were now actually running to the market to quickly store up dollars for obligations that will mature in the future. But the decision of the central bank to do that will remove that. So it simply means that the central bank is back, and it means that they're already walking their talk. It means that they are ready to meet obligations that they are committed to. And secondly, another thing that after this is one. So another thing after this is the fact that sometimes 2 weeks ago, JP Morgan released another report that actually mentioned that Nigeria is one of the best countries that's currently given high level of carry trade opportunity. And they also mentioned that our risk-reward ratio is now exceptional. So what it simply means that Nigeria market is open for opportunity, and but we just need to actually fix the FX prices that is currently on board. So I feel that as much as we continue to actually improve oil production, so what that will mean is that our pressure to the reserve will improve, and that will also mean is that the capacity of the central bank to also meet the obligations will also improve. So also, just 2 days ago, there was a report that Dangote Refinery had gotten a license to actually process 300,000 barrels of oil per day. And so what that will also mean is that it will also reduce the pressure that's currently on the reserve, and our net import will also reduce, and the capacity of central bank to also meet some of its FX obligation will also improve. So I think some of those things are things we're expecting aftermath.
Okay, well said. Very important. The CBN, in an act to really save the naira, has vowed to go after currency holders and speculators to save the depreciating naira. But this is not the first time, though, the CBN will be cracking down on such activities. What is likely to change this time going forward?
Yeah, I think chasing speculators is the only way to chase speculator is to create a fair value where the currency could trade. And sincerely speaking, we saw what happened in 2017. February 2027, the central bank came out to say they're actually releasing a FX framework. And just about what the first thing they did was to actually reintroduce the BDC operator back to the market. Aftermath, they created the INE window. And at that particular point in time, Naira was already trading above 500 in the parallel market, while it was trading around 240 in the official market. And but we saw a situation whereby Naira stabilized at 360 Naira to a dollar for a period of close to 3 years. And so what it simply means is that the influx of FX and influx of FX revenue, what it will help is that it will help to actually stabilize Naira below the current levels that we are currently trading. So what it will mean to speculators being that people that are already loading dollars at 1,300 will actually find out that they made a bad decision to actually speculate on the currency at that particular level. And some of the people that actually are intending to actually buy more at that level will also think twice to feel that there's every tendency that the currency will improve better than where it was trading. And as a result of that, they will actually avoid speculating on the currency. So the best way for the central bank to do that is to actually create a market where the market is very liquid, and a market where the fair value of the naira could easily be actually dictated. Because when you look at offshore markets as of yesterday, in the NAFEM window, it closed around 798 levels, while at the parallel market, it closed at 1,130 naira. So when you see that yield disparity, what it does to the market is that it creates a level of speculative activity. So the central bank needs to work around that to ensure to close the gap. By so doing, that will help automatically to actually remove speculators from the market.
That's a good point there. But some market operators in the past have talked about the fact that the CBN needs to collaborate with market participants. And when you talk about market participant, you're talking about the Bureau de Change, you're talking about the banks, you're also talking about traders in the market as well. How crucial is this to stabilize the fluctuations in the forex market?
I think the first thing I think the central bank needs to do is to first of all digitalize that market. And by so doing, what they will do is that then they can actually raise other operators and maybe onboard them on that platform. With that, it will be easy for the central bank to monitor the level of activity that go on in that particular market. And at the same time, the central bank will be able to hold people accountable. One of the reasons why the central bank actually yanked off the BDC operator at the particular point in time was the fact that the central bank was selling funds to the BDC at around 460 levels, while the BDC in turn were just selling to the parallel market at 700 levels. At that particular, it was counterproductive to the central bank. And it was very difficult for central bank to actually put these perpetrators to book. But with the introduction of a computer-based system, where you can actually track activity, where you can actually track even the deployment of the fund that's actually allocated to some of these BDCs, it will be easier for the central bank to actually monitor that market. And I agree with you that central bank needs to actually partner with some of these operators, the banks, the BDC operators, and because these are people that are actually very close to the market. As we speak, a lot of people want to travel. You cannot get to actually buy FX in the NAFEM window because as we speak, there's no window for invisibles. So as a result of that, most of these people will have to resort to parallel market to actually meet the obligation. We have people that want to go on medical tourism. And these people cannot easily get allocation from the NAFEM window. They have to resort to the parallel market. So you have to create a window that will also meet the needs of some of these demands. And by so doing, it will help to actually bring normalcy to that market.
Okay, let's wrap it up now because of our time. Looking ahead, what additional steps or policies do you think the CBN needs to implement to further strengthen the Naira and ensure stability in the Nigeria's FX environment? I mean, it will seem, the unification of the FX market is all that was needed in the first place, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one thing that we failed to actually consider then was the capacity to actually defend the currency. I'm sure the government didn't check very well the power before they actually embark on that journey. And with what the central bank is currently doing, I want to be sure, and I want to confirm that they are currently on the right path. And there's a statement accredited to the current CBN government that is going to embark on an evidence-based policies. So it simply means that and at the same time, it will focus on its core responsibility, which is stability of the economy. And if he needs to actually follow that route, it simply means that he has to work to ensure that there is stability of the currency. He has to ensure that foreign investors can actually have confidence in Naira. And I think what's currently doing, by actually raising return on investment and also clearing some of the backlogs, is already on the right track to actually achieve this.
I think we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Oladipo Ajayi is head fixed income market at Chapel Hill. And thank you so much for coming on Business Nigeria. Do have a great day.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me on.